Welcome to the Doo Doo Divas Smells Like Money podcast. I'm your host, Suzanne Chin Taylor, CEO and founder of Creative Raven, the firm that helps wastewater industry contractors and manufacturers unlock the power of digital marketing, AI, and PR to boost sales and opportunities. Whether it's through our online marketing and lead generation programs or providing a fully outsourced marketing department, we are passionate about helping businesses in the wastewater and civil infrastructure sectors not just survive, but thrive in today's digital world. Each episode, I'll be bringing you expert tips and strategies to help you grow and succeed. Let's dive in. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Doo Doo Divas Smells Like Money podcast. We are now continuing our conversation and the second part in our three-part series on geothermal energy for the wastewater industry with our very illustrious and knowledgeable guest, Jay Egg, who is the president and founder of Egg Geo. So welcome back, Jay.
I'm so glad to be here again, Suzanne. Thank you for having me back. They must not have booed me off the stage by the comments last time.
Absolutely not. And so during our last episode, we were talking about the use of harvesting, the energy from our wastewater streams, plants, water bodies, whatnot, to power cities. And it was more, discussing how this relates to municipal utilities. And so you and I discussed before we were going to have you on the show about the concept of integrated utilities. And I found this concept very, very interesting because as our industry, and I would have to say, our labor pool is really shrinking, and we're trying to get new people to come into the industry and finding new ways, is that there seems to be a little bit more of this spirit of cooperation between utilities, that it's no longer an us and them, like, oh, I'm wastewater, you're water, or you're drinking water, I'm storm water, you're this, you're that. No, is that it's all one water, and we all really have to work together for the community's good. And you're bringing to the table a concept as it relates to geothermal energy surrounding integrated, I love this, integrated utilities. And you said to me, it's the concept of treating water, wastewater, and thermal energy as an integrated utility service to build more resilient and efficient infrastructure. And so explain to our audience, and maybe to me again, because this is kind of a highbrow, complex topic, in 101, what is meant by an integrated utility? And if we were to adopt this approach, what could be short-term, mid-range, long-term benefits for our utilities and the communities they serve?
You bet, Suzanne. Now, let's first dissect the term, the water energy nexus. And that means how all of these systems work together. First of all, and we'll talk about this later, water has been a right to citizens and humans that is certainly in America has been heavily subsidized so that it's quite affordable. I mean, for Pete's sake, we don't even think about it, or at least in the past, we hadn't really think about leaving the sprinklers on, filling the bathtub, leaving the sink on while you're brushing your teeth, because it's as inexpensive as any utility. I mean, inexpensive than any utility. So what the fact of the matter is, before we get there, and I'm privy to this because of the markets I work in, there will come a day, we are going to see a day where water will be as valuable and as costly as fuel, like for cars. Believe it or not, that's how important it's becoming, and water rights are all the rage. specifically because of all the data centers coming into place. It's not uncommon for one data center to use 1 million gallons of drinking water a day. They don't have that in their budget, the local water authorities, and these things are springing up all over. So we need to integrate these utilities, and the first people to pick up on this have been the power or the energy companies that sell both electricity and natural gas. They see the writing on the wall that 50%, and here's a factoid, 50% of the energy consumed by the built environment could be satisfied with not electricity, but thermal energy exchange. Most people don't know that. Right now, we use electricity for all of it. We use electricity to power our air conditioners. We use electricity or natural gas to power our heaters, our stoves, everything in the house. Well, 50% of that, 40 to 50% on average, can be satisfied with thermal energy transfer rather than electricity. So the utilities, the electric and natural gas utilities, are among the first to see this and to begin to band together. Or let me put it this way, I should be very honest. The electric utilities want to monetize thermal energy because they realize they're going to lose it to geothermal networks and systems like that if they don't end up owning them. So they're just barely at the beginning of this. Very few understand what we are talking about, Suzanne, that this water energy nexus that the utilities are looking at going at saying, I want to own the geothermal energy networks that transfer energy with the buildings. They haven't even identified, very few have, and if they have, they don't understand it yet, that the water utilities can monetize all the drinking water they send to them for energy, all the drinking water they send to their consumers for energy at the main drinking water treatment plant. And all the wastewater treatment plants can monetize the wastewater that they put back into rivers or inject back into the ground or sprinkle on the top of what we call evaporation ponds or grassy. I don't, there are a lot of different ways they get rid of it. All of this is no longer a liability, but a precious commodity for energy. They are
Mm.
just barely at the we are at so much at the beginning of this that few people, even the energy companies, don't understand it. All they know is they need to own the asset that distributes that. And I want to stop there and see if we're understanding what I've talked about so far.
Oh, I do. I
Okay.
do, because they're not quite sure how it's all going to happen, but
No.
they know that they need to be involved and have a piece of the action
Yeah.
because this is where the future is absolutely going.
Yes. And that is exactly right. So the
Think
assets
about,
that,
not to interrupt you, but think about the popular when you saying we're using it to power everything. Think about how many people are now buying EVs
yes,
and they are charging them at their home or they're
yes.
charging them when they're on the road. And
Hmm.
I think that as that technology improves and those electric vehicles can go longer and longer distances on a single charge, there's
Hmm.
going to be more need in the home
Yeah.
for that power.
Yes, there is. And that's where the electric companies can really monetize this because all the money there, all the electricity that is being used in the homes, and this is what we keep illustrating to the power utilities, and they're starting to get it, starting to catch. But
Mm.
all this extra demand for cars, I've had a Tesla in my garage for 5 years. And I haven't stopped by a gas station in 5 years. It's a beautiful thing. But all that energy is being used at my home now. So if you think about it, if everybody puts in a Tesla charger or an electric car charger in their garage, where are they going to get that energy? Here's the answer. if they start satisfying the heating and cooling and domestic hot water demand and pool heaters and everything thermally through a thermal energy network, they have plenty and to spare to do the EVs. That's the fact. That's the balance that really works. And the electric companies are starting to see this. They go, oh, okay, this could work for us to fund the thermal energy networks. Now, what they don't understand is where they get the energy transfer from at the strategic points in the energy network to provide heat and take heat from that network. They don't yet understand the two biggest resources are drinking water and wastewater, and they want to monetize that. So, how I see this all going is the
Hmm.
utilities and us, we will help them be able to illustrate this, will go to their fellow utilities, the wastewater authority and the drinking water authority, and say, guess what? We have this great idea, and we're going to pay to do it, and we're going to pay you every month for the rest of eternity for this asset. So, really, what happens with the strategic initiative is that the drinking water authority having jurisdiction and the wastewater authority having jurisdiction don't actually have to get into the energy business. It's like selling cell tower space. They're not in the cell tower business. They just make a check every month off of it. The same thing's going to happen here. They're going to go, so wait a minute. Let me get this right. You're going to put this thing in for me, not charge me, and you're going to tap into it and run it to wherever you need it for energy, not charge me, and you're going to give me a check every month. And then they go back to their board of directors and go, that's a lot of money. That's money we haven't been receiving before. And all we have to do is breathe in and breathe out. Yeah, we're in. That's where we need to get. We're not
Or
there
it
yet.
sounds, yeah, or they might have that fear of this sounds too good to be true.
Snake oil. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I could
Uh,
see people thinking, nah, they're not going to do
That's
that,
that's what happens to me all the time, and I'm one of the most renowned experts in the world on this. And I go, we were working in Rochester, not New York, Rochester, Minnesota, which is the home to the Mayo Clinic. And Mayo's doing geothermal out the wazoo, and so is the city of Rochester. But they have there what's called a muni. They're owned by the municipality. The drinking water and the wastewater is all owned by the municipality. And they're making money hand over fist just for breathing in and breathing out because they're immune. They aren't worried about it. So we did a presentation with the city manager, the mayor, the facilities director for all the Rochester facilities. Our team was up there in 2023, and we went in there to the Rochester Water Authority and explained this to them how they can make money by letting us do that. And they go, okay, sounds like a lot of work to me.
Yep.
And crickets. We don't need money. What do we need money for? Our checks are paid. We're immune. I'm not going to take a chance of doing anything that's going to cause me more. And it is the mentality. That is the silos we're dealing with now
Hmm.
over and over again. There's no motivation. They don't even want to make more money. It's kind of like dealing with the public schools. You tell them a public school that you can save this much money. A high school, they say we don't get any money. We get our bills paid whether our electric and utility bills paid no matter what. We don't get any benefits. Don't bother me anymore.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, you got to get the silos together. Basically, I told Governor Hochul, I said, we need a task force that's empowered by the governor to force this. And that's what they did in New York. They passed, Hochul signed the New York State Utility Thermal Energy Networks and Jobs Act in 2022. And that forced the PSC to allot billions of dollars to all the electric utilities to do it. And they said, you shall. It's not a good idea. You have to do this whether you like it or not.
So there are benefits. So people need to stop fearing, oh, this is going to be too much money, or we don't need money. But I would challenge, okay, your bills are paid. but we've got aging infrastructure.
Yeah.
We've got aging infrastructure that's at the end of its design life. And so this can be a way. I'm just throwing this out there. I might catch some flack for this one, but oh well. This can be a way to add some funds into your budget that you didn't have before, that you might need to repair some underground lines or some stormwater drainage. And you are looking at, okay, the only way I can do this is if I apply for grants or a bond initiative, or heaven forbid, I've got to raise my water and sewer rates on my residents or my ratepayers. And you know how well that's going to go over. And so here's
Great
the way.
point. I hadn't even thought of
Let's
that.
think about this for a minute. Somebody's coming in and offering you to give you a check. Imagine how that could benefit the community by selling energy or selling something, you were saying, a commodity that's coming as a natural byproduct of what you're already doing, and turning that into the means to take care of some other things that your community really needs.
Yeah.
I think there has to be, like you were saying, there needs to be this change in mindset. And if, heaven forbid, it's going to require a law to be passed or petitioning to governments to make it happen, then maybe it has to be made for our own good.
Mhm. And that's exactly what happened in New York. There is no way any utility, Con Ed or anybody, would do this of their own accord. No way. Absolutely zero. That's why I worked with the Union Brotherhood, which we're very strong with them. They need more work. They want to put more pipes in the ground. They want to put in the exchange systems. They want to retrofit the buildings. So we worked with the Pipe Union, which is called the United Association of Pipe Fitters. And we worked with the green activists in New York. We took it to the assembly after several years of working on it, and it passed first time overwhelmingly. They said, yeah, this is a good idea. Legislators, that's what they're there for, to say, this is a good idea. We don't care who you are, whether you're union guys that make money running natural gas pipelines interstate, or commissioning nuclear power plants. It doesn't matter. It's pipes in the ground. That's all good all the time. And so the legislature goes, you got the union here, you got the activists here, you got the legislature. There's no downside, is there? We just have to make it a law and tell the PSC to give them some money. We got plenty of money from the PSC because we decide where they spend their money for infrastructure.
And isn't it nice when you mentioned this in the last episode, is this whole initiative for this type of energy has received the blessing of the past administration as well as our current administration, where
There is a
they're like,
God when you
yeah,
think about
they
things
put
like
money
that.
towards this because they realize that this is a really good idea.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's, beyond that whole thing that happened during, the political campaigns of, drill baby drill. Well, yeah, we're doing that, but they're not putting, what's nice to hear is that they're not putting all the eggs in one basket, no pun intended with your last name, Jake.
Right? I hear
but
it all the
but they're
time.
also looking that we need to, just like when you diversify your portfolio as an investment, I see that what they're doing here is they're saying, yes, we have this. We know it's been reliable, but it probably might not be a bad idea to maybe put some emphasis on here too, and tap every new available resource that is coming to the forefront to us right now. And what you were saying with the union, think about when we invest in infrastructure, we create good paying jobs for our economy. And let's face it, we could all use that right now.
All good. That's what I love
All
about
good.
my
This is
job,
a
Suzanne.
win-win.
I wake up every morning and I say, there's no downside to what I'm doing. Everybody likes us right now.
And isn't that fun?
Oh, it's so fun. I love it. We were at the national conference in Reno this last week, and it is a party. Everybody from Fervo Energy, I mean, these are big name energy companies. They're prospering under both administrations. And we have been floundering as an industry, geothermal, because nobody really knows what that is. They kind of get it, but they don't know it. But really, it's about thermal energy and electricity when you get into the deep geothermal. So we solve both sides of it. That's another story, though.
Another story for another day.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, just to prime the pump for the next episode, we're going to be talking about energy as it relates to now private industry with geothermal, but really more for cooling towers and what we would consider industrial pretreatment, which is also part of our audience here on the show. And so that's what we're going to be, diving into on our third and final episode in this series. But for those who are interested in learning more about what EggGeo does and connecting with you, how can they learn more?
All you got to do is know how to spell EggGeo and put that into your web bar. It's EGGGEO.com. And if you want to reach out to me directly, I answer every one of my emails. It's hard to believe, but I do. I have a great staff that helps me. JAYE, last initial, at egggeo.com.
And I can attest to that. He does. So, again, Jay, thank you so much. And I look forward to continuing our conversation on the next episode. And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. And until next time, keep it flowing. Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. If you're ready to take your marketing to the next level and start increasing sales and opportunities for your business, reach out to us at Creative Raven. We're here to help you thrive in the digital landscape. Visit creativeraven.com or click the link in the show notes below to schedule a call and learn how we can support your growth. If you enjoyed the insights on today's episode, be sure to hit subscribe so you'll never miss an update. Until next time, keep growing and keep it flowing.